Greetings, Crocodile Army. It's been a while since I made a video about the inhabitants of the clown car filled with the potential Republican nominees for president. Since that time, Scott Walker was the biggest name to drop out of the race. I actually thought he had a very good shot at winning until he seemed to give support in an interview for building a wall with our overly polite neighbors to the north. Personally, I like nearly all Canadians, and I don't want to keep you guys out. I'm very sorry if the governor of Wisconsin hurt your feelings. I have no idea what Walker was talking about. Oh, and congrats on getting rid of Stephen Harper finally. You made the right call. Anyway, let's get back to talking about politics here in Jesus Land. After the first couple Republican debates, there were some people who thought that Ohio Governor John Kasich sounded like the most reasonable candidate up there. To be fair, though, that's a very low hurdle to clear. Basically, Kasich said he would not be in favor of shunning a gay family member, and everyone was like, oh wow, he's a moderate Republican. Kind of shows you what the party has become, doesn't it? And then a couple weeks later, he spoke out in favor of Ohio House Bill 135, which, if it's passed and Kasich signs it into law, would prohibit women from having an abortion if the fetus is found to have Down syndrome. Not surprisingly, Sarah Palin is pushing for this bill too. This bill has a pretty good chance of passing and will likely be signed into law by Kasich if it does. As with the highly restrictive abortion laws passed in North Dakota earlier this year, it has about a 0.0% chance of surviving the inevitable court challenges. Make no mistake though, from the highly deceptive videos about Planned Parenthood to the recent raids on their offices in Texas, abortion rights are still under attack, and the fight will continue to be ugly. The alleged party of small government has come up with laws of all types that are designed to make it as difficult as possible for women to get an abortion in conservative states. A Republican legislator in Ohio said that it's okay to pass this law because even if the parents aren't emotionally or financially equipped to take care of a special needs child, that other people would be happy to. According to Congress, there are already over 102,000 adoptable children in foster care in the United States right now, so that claim is pretty easily disproven. Lots of those kids have no developmental disabilities and still won't be adopted. It's difficult to say exactly how many abortions are due to a Down syndrome diagnosis, but estimates are somewhere between 5 and 10,000 a year in the US. So, if this were the law throughout the country, this means that the foster care system would be further strained, and healthcare costs will bury many of those who are forced to not abort. I didn't hear them mention anything about improving resources for those who carry the pregnancy to term. This is why I like the term pro-birth so much. It's just so apt for so many of these people. If you want to martyr yourself as the subject of one of those touching stories where you spent thousands and thousands of dollars to have a few hours with a baby you already knew would die soon after giving birth, then be my guest. But if you ever find yourself in that situation, you should never, ever be made to feel ashamed about terminating that pregnancy for your own physical, emotional, and financial health. Save those resources and try again if you want. There's nothing shameful about any abortion, and least of all for this kind of reason. After all, most abortions that happen are spontaneous, and we call them miscarriages. These abortions are, of course, due to natural causes. Or as religious people call it, God.